Good morning. We are on day 79, leaving the trailhead. Today's going to be a slightly easier day. I think we're doing 15 point something or other miles today. And part of the reason for doing a few less miles is, well, we've been bitten, and Jeff had his bites yesterday. I had mine the day before, and we were up a little later than we would have been last night at the Warwick drive-in theater there watching Barbie, which we'd been wanting to do for a while, so glad I got a chance to see that. That was actually a great little spot. They have a place for campers, through hikers, but because we're also vehicle supported, we had our van, but they were kind enough to let us pay for a bit of a camping site there, which was really good because they had water available there for us. They had porta potties there that were really clean, and of course, you know, you have a concession stand and movies, so what a great place to stay. So we got a little bit of a later start because, again, only 15 miles, so it's not going to be too bad. A little overcast right now. It's quite comfortable, actually, temperature. The weather forecast states it's going to be the same pretty much as it was yesterday, so that was pretty solid. I just on a little bit of an incline here, and I haven't had coffee this morning, so I'm a little slow on the get-go. There was just no good coffee place between there and here, and I didn't make it this morning because I was being lazy. But I have my pot and everything in the back, so worst case scenario, I can always make some on trail if I get the coffee headaches, which us addicts do tend to do. But other than that, it should be a good day. The tramway is about 15 miles behind us right now, so with us taking a slightly shorter day, they'll get a little closer to us, and so we can merge up again or whatever, because that's just what happens with tramways. All right, today gonna be a good day. Gonna get going, and no one's gonna get stung. Fingers crossed. And just to show you what I'm walking on this morning, which won't last very long because you're never in these fields for very long. Oh, there was a bird. And of course, with all the dew, it dampens the toes. But we do have a few little fields to start off with this morning, and then we're going into that tree line. The up and downs aren't going to be too bad, but we definitely got some because that's just the AT. Okay, so with that little sign, didn't really know that the swampy bit was coming up. There wasn't really an indication on that, and I checked the shelter just beyond it, and yeah, it definitely recommends taking the bypass. So it's not a very long bypass, and the trail pretty much just goes along the road here, or parallels the road, I should say. So I'm just gonna take the road to the shelter and then pop back in, which isn't a big issue, but I'd rather not go knee deep into a swamp. It just doesn't. I've done that all of Maine and New Hampshire, well, Maine really. So I'm kind of over it. So I'm gonna just take the road walk. It's not very far, and it keeps my feet dry. So we'll pop back in when we hit the shelter area. Okay, on the road walk. So essentially this is the swamp that I'm bypassing, and I'm sure there's boards there, but like all good swamps, those boards are probably deteriorated and falling down. So hence the reason for the knee deep, because you can see, especially since we've had a lot of rain, the water's right there. And that looks nasty. And this doesn't. So I'm going to take this. Good decision. Just a little update. We're about almost at mile 8 in. We're just kind of running on this ridge line. We've been pretty much going up all morning, quite gradually though. I think the high point is 1,500 feet. So I think we got about 300 or 400 more feet to go up before we reach the high point. But again, it's been pretty gradual, which has been quite nice. And you can see the trail here is quite lovely. I'm actually really enjoying this part of the hike today. The bugs are a little annoying. They're not even bitey bugs. It's just these little swarms of black flies that just hang around your face and wait to get sucked up in your breath or something. Because I guess they just want to die with you. But I don't want the extra protein. But other than that, it's a great day, and we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Okay, so this is New Jersey's observation tower of the highest point in New Jersey, which is that obelisk there. I guess that was built in 1930s as a memorial to something or other. They do like their memorials out here, but it looks pretty impressive from here. So this is their highest point. Well, the observation of the highest point. It's a gorgeous day up here. It's maybe about 24 degrees Celsius, so mid-70s. There's a light breeze. It's not too sticky and gross. It is a perfect day for hiking. I've really enjoyed today. And it's been a like steady climb up today, but not too steep in any one area. And down there's a little lake and concession stand, I guess, or something. I can hear kids playing and whatnot. But everything still looks nice and green and lush. I have noticed, I mean, that tree is kind of dying, so I think that's something else. Well, maybe it's changing. Some of the trees are starting to slowly change a bit. I'm not quite ready for fall, but it's coming whether I like it or not. But I think this will be a good place to sit and have some lunch. And that there is the trail I came up. And I'm going to continue to go all the way down there to finish my 15-ish mile day. And I think we're about mile 9, so just a little over halfway. All right, well, I'm going to take a break now. Okay, so we made it to the High Point State Park after we came down off the hill there. I gotta say, it's nice to have flushable toilets, because sometimes, you know, when you gotta drop a load, you want to do it somewhere where you can sit and flush. Anyway, and then we're gonna be headed, I don't know, back in the woods somewhere. Good morning. We are on day 80, which is a little surreal to think that I've been hiking for 80 days. I think I worked it out too. I've hiked over about 860 miles already. And despite all of that, and I do feel stronger and whatnot, I still huff and puff up these hills. I don't think that ever goes away. And these aren't even big hills anymore. But it's also morning. I've had coffee, so that's a good thing. It is going to be a 19.6 mile day. And the forecast does show rain this afternoon. It rained a little bit this morning already, but hopefully it'll just stay off and be kind of cloudy and actually make for a really good hiking day. It's kind of cool, probably about 70 Fahrenheit, about 20-ish. So it's comfortable, but it also means it's good for the mosquitoes. But I've already bugged up or deeded up or all that good stuff. And I think that's pretty much it for today. I'll show you what I'm running on. So this is the trail this morning. The usual rocks, slight incline, and that's pretty much it. You can see the bugs in the background. There's definitely a lot of nasciums out in this area. Like the black flies have been annoying, and they're out, which you can see warming my screens here. But it's the nasciums last night. Oh, made for a challenging sleep. So I'm a little overtired today, but well caffeinated. So that should pose for an interesting day. As long as I don't have to do anything technical or think terribly difficult or have to put together anything, we should be fine. All right, on that note, let's get cracking and finish these 19.6 miles. Well, start, because you can't finish something if you don't start it. All right, here we go. Another wasp nest up there. Bimbly through that little area. This is just a view here of an outcropping. I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background. Probably not. But there's a rooster crowing down there. It's a cloudy, hazy day. Not sure exactly. I know I'm looking to the northwest, but that's pretty much all I know. But that's pretty much the best view. I'm gonna get up here. Okay, so we're just coming up on the peak of Sunrise Mountain. And we have this building here. So this is 1,600 feet. So not very high, but quite a building. Heck, you could set up your tent here. Wow. Anyway, this isn't far from that little place on the rocky outcropping that I was showing you the view of. So that is Sunrise Mountain, which isn't much, but I think this building here pretty much is the pinnacle of Sunrise Mountain. I'm gonna guess. I'm not sure. I've got two directions to go. I think it's this one. Oh, yep, definitely this one. There's my white mark. So, heading on down. Okay, so we're about 6 miles in right now, and it's been actually a really good trail. It hasn't been raining, just overcast. It's actually been quite lovely. But as I'm walking through the woods, I always hear a thunk, thunk, thunk. And it's been following me for quite some time. Actually, last couple of weeks, probably the last 2 weeks or so. And what that sound is, and I'm surprised it hasn't concussed me yet, are acorns. All of the acorns are falling off the trees. And there's a lot of acorns out here in these. Because you got some big, beautiful trees up here. But I'm just waiting for a matter of time because they're not big. I mean, these acorns, I'll even pick one up. I mean, they're big enough, you know, but they're hard. So when they land, you can't really hear it very well here. Anyway, but they're coming up from way up top there. So, like I said, I've heard them fall and they've come pretty darn close to hitting me on the head. So, like I said, I'm sure it's just a matter of time before they do. And I hope it doesn't hurt too much. But, you know, that is the hazard of walking into the woods. So I thought I'd just share that little tidbit with you, especially as we get closer to leaf peeping season. I imagine they'll just start falling more and more, or the squirrels will start throwing them at me, or I don't know, something like that. All right, well, let's continue on. Okay, I just passed Culver's fire tower. That's what those few pictures are. Not much of a huge view, so you don't see too much. Ooh, bugs are starting to pick up. Just ran into a section hiker who's done the AT before sped. So shout out to you, sped. Oop, as I fall down here from the roots. It was nice to meet you and your family. And hopefully you managed to get to do the CDT. But that is where I'm at now, so I'm just finishing. It's about 7 miles in. It started to sprinkle a bit, but it's kind of backed off again, so hopefully we'll hold that off until dinner time when I'm off the trail. And I met another southbound crew that we met at the drive-in theater has just whizzed past me, but they're all moving fast. They're young and have knees. Or at least cartilage in their knees at this point. So I'm sure will get where they're going fairly quickly. I'm going to be still taking my sweet time. I still got another 13 miles to go. So let's get going. We're just down from Culver's fire tower. And that little tiny piece of water over there, that's Culver's Lake. And we're going to be heading down that direction and continuing on. Okay, so we just came out of there, crossed another busy highway, and we are now going, here's our white mark, back into the woods. Okay. Oh, some trail angels have left some, well, I guess the water's gone now, and a garbage bag for garbage, which is always nice because that means we don't have to pack it. But that little road crossing I just passed had a place where you could have gotten sandwiches and convenience stores and stuff, so it certainly could have gone there. I don't need to go there right now, so I'm going to just continue on and head on up. Just on the top of another hill with pretty much the same view, just another angle of it. And we're about 10.5 miles in, so making good time. Oh, got stuck by a tree there. Alright, so this is what I'm running on right now, which is always a bit nice, and the breeze is there, and got plenty of birds in the sky, and hopefully the clouds will just keep doing what they're doing. Okay, this is the view from the other side of this little mountain. We're at about 1,500 feet. That's pretty much tops out as far as we go.
That's it.
Still sprinkles here and there, but not too bad. The rain's holding out. And pensive look, or not so pensive. Anyway, we're going down that way.